Hi, Eddie. Looks like Joelinton's travelled. Could you just give us an injury update on some of your players ahead of tomorrow?
Yeah, Joelinton's back in the squad, so that's a great boost for us. Such an important player, such a big presence within our squad, such a real leader. So he trained yesterday and trained well and felt really good. So delighted with his return. No one else from the missing list, I think, has travelled from the last game. So we're missing, quite a few players, quite a few real quality players as well. So they're big misses for us. But we come in here good spirits from our last two games.
Thank you. Gentleman in the middle. Yeah. You holding the microphone? No? No? On the front row here, please.
Leila Eminova, Magpies. Qarabağ played against two English clubs. With Chelsea, the match was held in Baku, but it was some time ago, and with Liverpool, it was the most recent one. Which of these matches contributed the most to the team's preparation for the upcoming game?
Well, both really. Yeah, I mean, I've watched a lot of Qarabağ, obviously, in the build-up to this game. I watched both of those games. Thought it was interesting because I actually thought the Liverpool game and scoreline is not reflective of the game at all. Thought Qarabağ made a really good, bright start to that game. Had a number of chances, looked really threatening with the ball. You could show their high technical level. They've got some dangerous players. I think you can look at the scoreline and make one assumption and then look at the game and get another different impression totally. The Chelsea game I thought was a really hard-fought game between two good teams, but it was a really good one for us to watch, to see the level of team we're going to be up against. And I'll certainly be getting across to the players in the next 2 days that there's no complacency. We know this is going to be a tough test for us.
We'll go to John Murray, please.
Hi, Eddie.
Hi.
Could you just say a few words about the significance of this match for Newcastle United to be playing in a knockout tie in the latter stages of the Champions League?
Yeah, I think of course, it means everything to us currently. I mean, you look at the history of the club, this is sort of a slightly new opportunity for us to get to the last 16 of this competition. It would be an incredible achievement. And we're trying to embrace it in that way. We're trying to look at the excitement and the possibility rather than feel too much of the burden of the pressure of the occasion. I think we want to turn these moments and these games into history opportunities, into moments that the people talk about for a long, long time. I think there's a real excitement with this game and the travel and the number of supporters we're bringing. So I think it's all set to be a great occasion. And then, of course, we have to do our bit. We have to bring our A game. We have to approach the game in the right way in terms of our attitude. I know we will. And then we need to deliver like we have in our last two away games.
Thank you. Jordan Cronin.
Just on the injury news, Emil Kraft's been replaced in the squad by John Ruddy. Is that a hint that Emil might be missing the rest of the season or close to the rest of the season?
Yeah, Emil's had an operation on his knee. So, yeah, I think in all likelihood it looks like his season is over, which is a real blow for us. He sort of first suffered the problem on international duty. We hoped that he could come back and be okay. But it was clear in training recently that he wasn't going to get to the level needed and there needed to be a surgical intervention.
And factoring in the travel, do you have to pick a team tomorrow with Manchester City in mind on Saturday?
No, I don't think so. I think we need to pick a team with this game in mind, and we'll worry about the Manchester City game after this game. I think that would be foolish to juggle too much. I think we've got our eyes very firmly on what we need to do. We need to try and perform well, and we need to try and be at our best. I think Manchester City in itself is such a difficult game, but that can wait till Thursday morning.
Thank you. Go to the gentleman in the white and then to Lee Ryder, please. Yeah.
Orhan Melikzada Sport.
Orhan Melikzada. I have two questions. Newcastle will play against tough teams next weeks. So Newcastle will play against tough teams. And you have some losses in your team. Do you think you will be careful tomorrow, or will you give chances to substitutes? Or the next question is that Qarabağ's style, playing style, is it similar to Premier League clubs, or Qarabağ's completely different club for you?
Yeah, in answer to the first part of that question, we will play our strongest team in the sense that we will try and win the game. So there'll be no thinking of the schedule ahead. I think this game in itself, in isolation, is hugely important. Qarabağ style, I really like and really respect. I love the way they play with 4 fluid attackers. They're very aggressive. They attack, they want to score. Trying to compare them to a Premier League team, I think, is quite difficult because I think they're quite unique. But I think they could grace the Premier League. I think they're that strong.
Thank you. Lee Ryder?
Eddie, how's Lewis Miley doing?
Yeah, Louis is doing all right. He's made good progress in the last few days. We're quite happy with his progress. He's had a number of scans on his. It came from a knock, which seems quite strange, but just a really bad dead leg gave some muscle disruption. So as soon as that muscle is healed, which we think it is now, we can push him on quite quickly.
And Bruno is going to spend some time in Brazil. Is it for a month, I think? We read this morning from South America. So how important is it for him to come back fully recharged for that last leg of the season?
Yeah, massive. I mean, I think he spoke with our medical team, and we've been in consultation with the Brazilian national team. So he's going to do his first part of his rehab with the Brazilian national team, and then he'll come back to us for the last 4 weeks. So I think it's a good mix for Bruno, because in the initial stages he won't be able to do too much. He gets a sort of mental refresh while doing some good work, and then comes back to finish off his final part of his rehab.
Thank you. Go to Martin and then to Dom, please. Martin?
Hi, Eddie. You've always fought your way out of bad runs, and you've had the fantastic results at Tottenham and the big win at Aston Villa. What does that say about your desire and the belief of the players in you?
I don't know. I don't know if it says too much about me. I think it's more about the group of players we have when they need to dig deep, when they backs against the wall, when they're being written off. I think they've got real strength of character. I think they've got real strong desires to represent themselves in the right way. I also think it shows we've got a really good team spirit and a really good togetherness in there, because I think if you don't, it's very easy for the group to become fractured and people to think in isolation rather than collectively. So I think it's been a really, really good response from an incredible group of players.
And is there any concern about the impact of the length of the trip to get here and back to Newcastle?
No, I think we try and take that in our stride. I think the flight over was actually very good. It went smoothly. It's sometimes not the case, and it hasn't been the case this year for us, but today was good. We'll train in a second. Hopefully the lads will get the plane journey out their legs and we'll be fine for tomorrow.
Dominic, please.
Hi, Eddie. We'll be speaking to Anthony Elanga very shortly. He's been with you the longest of all your summer signings and still relatively early in his Newcastle career. How do you reflect on it so far?
I think Ant's made really good steps. I think, firstly, just looking at his conduct and how he's come into the group and how he's trained every day. He's been the model professional. He's always working at his game. He's always doing bits after training to hone his skills. I think that's a great sign for his development. I think he will improve and continue to improve even more as we go through his time with us. He hasn't sort of achieved sort of the numbers in terms of the initial line of success that everyone maybe expected, but that gives me heart because I've seen his true character in difficult moments, and he's been a class act. So I think he'll continue to improve, and I think there's so much more to come from him. But certainly in recent weeks, I think we've begun to see really positive signs, and if you continue in that direction, I think we've got a great player on our hands.
We can go to Gary Stonehouse, and then Gary, the gentleman behind you, please. Thank you.
Mehmet
Suleymanov, welcome to Azerbaijan. It's very interesting. So which football player can you specifically name that you think these players are especially important for you, that can be dangerous for you tomorrow?
For us? Yeah, for us. Don't like to necessarily do that, but I'll play the game and I'll try and give you a couple. So I think for us on our side, without revealing my starting 11, which I never like to do, Kieran Trippier I think will be an interesting player for you to see because of his technical quality from right back, and also he's the only right back that we have, so there's a very good chance that he could play. And Sandro Tonali, off the back of his 2 goals in our last game, I think he's another player with brilliant ability, and he's in good goal-scoring form after his 2 long-range strikes. So hopefully that's the start of a really good run of form for him too.
Okay, we'll take two more. So the gentleman on the front row here, please. Yeah. Just the microphone's behind you. Thank you.
Sizin Newcastle'a. Yeah.
So after you have been appointed as the head coach of Newcastle, Newcastle plays very well, and Newcastle has more achievements. Qurbanov has been the head coach for 17 years. So do you think? So of course everyone praises Qurbanov because he has been head coach of Qarabağ for 17 years. Do you know something about Qurbanov? What can you say about him? What are your impressions about him? Because he's a 17 years head coach.
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I didn't know too much before playing this game and doing my research into this game, but any manager that's had that length of time at one club deserves huge respect, because it is very, very difficult to continually motivate your team, to find a way to communicate and inspire your team. And also the continued success they've had, and to see them doing what they're doing now in the hardest club competition in the world is incredible, really. So full credit to him and his staff. But also the way that they've done it and the way that they play. As I said earlier, I think their style is really, really good to watch. Almost playing with a traditional 9 and 10, which is very difficult to play against. I think both players have excelled in those positions for them. So, yeah, full credit to the manager, and 17 years and still going strong is a real mark of respect.
Thank you. The last one from the gentleman right at the back, please.
Welcome to Baku. Hasanov Murat from Okaz. So you said that you watched matches against Liverpool and Chelsea. So would you like to identify some players in Qarabağ, and maybe would you think about consider transferring some players from Qarabağ?
Yeah, we always have an open eye for player recruitment, but I wouldn't be disrespectful enough to say that there's any players that we're going to necessarily chase at this moment in time. But I really like their attacking four players. I think they've done really, really well. I think at Liverpool, the player that played in the 10 position, I won't pronounce his name, but was outstanding. And the goal scorer, the number 9, has led the line really well and scored a number of really, really good goals this year, and a constant threat with his pace in behind. So there's a number of other players that I think have been really strong. I really like the left-sided centre-back as well. I think he's had a really good season. So, some very strong players that we're going to have to play well against tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much. You'll be joined by Anthony Elanga very shortly.
Thank you.